And you are live.
We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order. At this time, our clerk will read the roll.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick, McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Mosley, Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
All members are present except for Mosley.
Okay, thank you so much. At this time, we are going to be led in prayer by Brother Reed from City of Joy. Immediately following our prayer, I'm going to ask if Councilwoman Connor could lead us in the pledge.
Madam President, could we have a moment of silence for Tara's mother?
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilwoman Amobian. Very appropriate. At this moment in time, before we have our prayer, we will have a moment of silence. Over the weekend, Councilwoman Mosley lost her mother. So we definitely want to keep her and her family in prayer. Thank you so much. Brother Reed.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, so we're going to pray. Lord, we thank you for today, oh God, for this is the day that you have made. Lord, today I would just like to ask for your peace, oh God, peace that surpasses all understanding, peace in every decision made, and peace among those who work together. Lord, help us reflect you in every move that we make. I pray that the spirit of distraction and division is defeated. Allow us to be able to be the people that you have called us to be for your name's sake. Lord, let us not forget who we are and what we can do, for we understand that your word says that it's in you that we live, move, and have our being. I pray that new vision and new creativity is birthed and let it flourish. Let us continue to do your will so that you may get the glory out of everything that we may do. We thank you for your protection and your provision, oh God. We thank you for your clarity and your wisdom that you would give to us that can only come from you. We ask that you would continue to reveal what needs to be done in order for the city to prosper. Lord, we thank you for never leaving us, never forsaking us, God. We are grateful for every opportunity that is given to us to make the city a better place. We ask that everyone will be on one accord, and let us pray that we have allowed ourselves to use our gift to its fullest potential, for you have instilled in us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Are there any additions or corrections? Councilman Fusco?
Motion to approve.
Can we get a second, Councilman Kamer?
Second.
Roll call?
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman, Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Same.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The minutes pass 11-0 with one abstention.
Before you, you have the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve? Councilman
Motion
Fusco?
Motion to approve.
Can we get a second, Councilwoman Baylor?
Second.
Roll call?
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The consent agenda passes 12-0.
Okay. We have no public hearing scheduled for this evening, so we'll move right into old business, planning and economic development. Councilman Fusco,
Time on the agenda.
time will be granted. That concludes old business, so we'll move right into new legislation.
Item number 1, offered by Mayor Horrigan and President Somerville, resolution commemorating Gojo Industries' 75th anniversary celebration and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Committee met this afternoon. The report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, it's self-explanatory. The city of Akron is very, very fortunate to call Gojo one of our own, and we're celebrating 75 years of Gojo in this area. And with that, we ask for its passage.
Okay, thank you so much.
Madam
Councilman
President,
Fusco? Oh, yes.
Could we have that as council, mayor and council as a whole, please?
Absolutely. So we do have a motion on the floor for mayor and council as a whole. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Fusco, do you have comments?
That was going to be my request. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, wonderful.
I'm
Okay,
sorry
so
about that.
no, that's okay. So the rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. We do have a motion for mayor and council as a whole. All in favor? Roll call.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This resolution passes 12-0, mayor and council as a whole. Item number 2 is offered by President Somerville. Resolution thanking Shelley Goodrich for her service to the city of Akron and wishing her well in her future endeavors and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
His report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
We're losing what I believe is a very, very valuable employee, and Shelley Goodrich. Her service always has been commendable. Anytime I've worked with her, she's been very replete in her duties. We had a lot of praise and honor for her today in our committee meeting. And with your permission, Madam President, I would like to offer an opportunity for some of our other council members to provide a word here.
Absolutely. Councilman Fusco?
Thank you, President Somerville. Mentioned this afternoon, but Shelley, you're going to be missed by so many. And the city has truly benefited from your service here on so many different levels. And your work ethic is really it's unequaled. As you mentioned earlier, of those 10 meetings that you attended in reference to the ARPA, and making sure that the information got out there to everyone I just really appreciate that, spending that time. And thank you so much again. You'll be missed. Thank you so much for your service. Thanks.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Amobian?
As I stated this afternoon, Shelley, I have certainly enjoyed working with you and appreciate all of the resources that you have brought to the city. I remember when you were in the tax commissioner's office and collecting all those dollars. We used to find out about all those dollars during budget time. And then you came back to us to head this ARPA project. And I tell you that, and also the project that we've been working on forever, trying to diversify our suppliers and become more friendly with everyone in the city of Akron. So I regret to see you go. And this is truly very bittersweet for me. I heard what you said, that you're going back to school and finishing up your CPA and all of that. I wish we could find a way to have you either work part-time or PRN or something to stay on board, because I think the work that you have done for the city speaks volumes of what you can do and have done. And I like the fact that you kind of stand up to council. You tell us when, especially when we were talking about guidehouse, you said, well, we don't have a fee for guidehouse because we need them. And I can appreciate that. But anyway, I wish you well. I really hate to see you go, but I wish you well in all your endeavors. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Steve Fricker?
Thank you, Madam President. So obviously, Shelley and I have known each other for a very long time. I was very thrilled when the mayor asked her to come and help me in the finance director's office. It's been a fantastic couple of years. As everyone has said, she accomplished so much in just a short period of time, from the diversity supplier initiatives to all of the ARPA work, a lot of work reforming our purchasing division, and the list goes on and on. So very tough shoes to fill. We're still going to be great friends going forward. And I'll see, Shelley all the time, but definitely going to miss her, working right next to me. So as I said, very tough shoes to fill.
Thanks, Steve.
Councilwoman Baylor?
Shelley, again, thank you for all your valuable contributions to the city of Akron and council. You are a true champion, one who goes above and beyond the call of duty. You are diligent in all that you put your hands to. Thank you so much again, and many well wishes to you in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Are there any other comments at this time from any other council members? Councilman Malik?
Yes, just wanted to make a motion for mayor and council as a whole.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion on the floor for mayor and council as a whole. Can we get a second? And we have a second. Great. Councilman Freeman?
Yes, I just wondered if Ms. Goodrich wants a copy of this meeting tonight. So when she goes on her first job interview, one of these days down the road, she can show it to her.
Yes, I'll list all of you guys as references. No, thank you so much for the kind words. I've truly enjoyed working with all of you. I know we had a lot to accomplish in the last couple of years, especially with the pandemic, and there's a lot coming down the pike for you all to continue to accomplish. I will still be around, not leaving the community, but just transitioning, and we'll still be involved. So I look forward to continuing to contribute in other ways to the city of Akron. I really appreciate the kind words, and it's been a pleasure working with all of you in the capacity that we have, and take it easy on Steve. I think he's definitely feeling the stress. So
Shelley, thank you so much. Again, we're going to miss you. You have definitely made the city of Akron better. And so we are so grateful and appreciative of that. So at this time, we do have a motion on the floor for mayor and council as a whole. Roll call, all in favor?
Baylor?
Aye.
Connor?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
Fusco?
Aye.
Holland?
Aye.
Kamer?
Aye.
Lombardo?
Aye.
McKittrick?
Aye.
Malik?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye.
Amobian?
Aye.
Somerville?
Aye.
This resolution passes 12-0, mayor and council as a whole. Item number 3 is offered by Mayor Horrigan, Councilwoman Mosley, and Councilman Malik. Resolution condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Committee's report is favorable. We're asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, we did hear from the mayor today, and obviously, sadly, we do not have Councilwoman Samples with us here this evening, but the resolution speaks for itself. Our hearts are sad, and we're hoping that there'll be some kind of resolve here in Europe regarding this tragedy, and with that, we ask for its passage.
Okay.
I'd like to move that we do mayor and council as a whole, please.
Okay, thank you
And
so much.
expedite this as quickly as possible to Washington, D.C., so they can see that we have strong support in Akron for addressing this and being against it. I don't know how fast this stuff gets out of office, but if we could get it to D.C. as quickly as possible, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Amobian. So we have a motion on the floor. Councilwoman Holland, will you second that motion?
I will.
Okay, so roll call, all in favor?
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This resolution passes 12-0, mayor and council as a whole. Item number 4 is offered by President Somerville, Councilman Fusco, and Councilman Freeman. Resolution publicly censuring Councilman Russell C. Neal Jr. for violation of Akron City Council rules as prescribed in Resolution number 1, 2020, and as amended by Resolution number 2, 2021. Directing the Clerk of Council to publish notice of the same in the Akron Beacon Journal and to post notice of the censure prominently on City Council's website and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
This report is favorable. We're asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended. Councilman Freeman, any further comment?
No further comment. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will be Councilman Neal.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I just wanted to state for those who may have been following this so that they understand that on the 14th of February, I sent an email to all of council stating that I did not want to meet with leadership because of vote of no confidence, because of the false statements. Some don't like this word, but if it's false, it's a lie, that I had ever met with council leadership or anyone from the president to the vice president to the pro tem regarding anything even close to gender harassment. It was a bold-faced lie. The first communication I received stating this was from Council President 1 hour after I had been contacted by the Akron Beacon Journal. As for an investigation, I got an email from the Human Resource Director asking to meet with me, which I thought was about my inquiry from when I asked for information to be a part of our official records on 9/13 about the city's unfair promotion and hiring practices. So I want citizens to know I have never received and have still yet to receive any formal communication regarding the allegations. Not an email, nothing. Now, those of you who work in professional work environments, be you union workers or work in an office, you understand that these kind of allegations are documented. There is a process. There is a due process for those accused, as well as those who are making the accusations. I want citizens to know that I have not had due process. I still don't know. And I want you to know the only communication, even as a group for council that has been, that we've received is what you've read in the Beacon Journal. Council, under our section 37 of the charter, investigates council. So I just want citizens to know that, you know, we talk about a hung jury.
Councilman
came
Neal, I'm
before-
gonna ask that you keep your comments.
Well, ma'am,
germane to the
these are
ordinance.
all germane to this. Because now you said that the Beacon Journal misquoted you, but you said we have met multiple times. There is no documentation. I'm sure we understand the proper way how to document this process, and there is none. So I just want citizens to know that what's taking place right now.
Thank you, Councilman Neal. Are there any additional comments at this time? All right. Councilwoman Amobian?
Yes. Madam President and council members, and I want the citizens of Akron to know that I am not disregarding anybody's feelings or anybody's interpretation of their experience. But I do believe that when someone is charged with something or accused of something, there should be a process by which the person can face his or her accusers. Now, I realize that we're saying that this has nothing to do with the resolution, and the resolution is strictly talking about not meeting with the leadership. But the leadership wanted to meet with Mr. Neal about, according to the Beacon Journal. Now, I believe that this should not have gone to the Beacon, and if you are denying—
Councilwoman Amobian, I'm gonna ask that you keep your comments
I appreciate
germane
that.
to the ordinance.
Yeah, but I do believe, Madam Chair, that we need to make sure that the public is aware of the fact that this has not been clearly addressed, and it was truly unfair for the Beacon Journal to be reporting this. So with that in mind, I am going to oppose this resolution, but I want the citizens to know, because I do not believe that this has been a fair process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Amobian. Is there any other council member that has a comment at this time? Councilman Neal?
Yes, Madam President, just want to ask, I had asked a question earlier this afternoon, since we're dealing with our rules. And in our rules, it talks about honesty, integrity, respectfulness, and decorum. Because as I stated, there is no documentation, nothing where I've ever had a conversation with anyone in leadership about this issue. I'd like if I can get an explanation of what do we call honesty and integrity? Because the statements in the Beacon Journal, which you now say are false, are the reasons why on the 14th I made the statement. Not that I didn't want to meet with leadership. I didn't want to meet with leadership behind closed doors for further false statements to be made. When we meet as council as a whole, they have to be in this format where everyone can see what takes place. And so it's not that I didn't want to meet with leadership. I didn't want to meet with leadership behind closed doors because of the false statements. So, again, I asked the question, honesty, integrity, respectfulness, and decorum. Where do those come into play? Because as I stated in my letter, which everyone got, and it's the only communication that every councilman got regarding this matter came from me. I stated I did not want to meet because of the false statements, and I wanted all of council to participate as outlined in section 37 of our charter, where council investigates. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Are there any other comments at this time? I do want to just state this, that again, this is about council's rules. We have rules that are in place. Again, I said this, it provides structure and it provides order. And we cannot pick and choose what rules we want to follow. Rules are in place for everyone, regardless of your name, your race, or your gender. Councilman Neal, I'll say this again. I am council leadership as council president, and I have had a conversation with you over the phone regarding your bad behavior with council staff. Again, it should have been a situation. You're right. Maybe we should have brought in all of council leadership. Maybe we should have brought in all of council. I did not do that only because what I was trying to do was to pull your coattail, to give you an opportunity to fix your behavior and to let you know that your behavior was inappropriate and unprofessional. So at this time, Councilman Neal, you've had a couple times to speak. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to take the vote.
Madam
The
President,
committees.
Madam President, according to Robert's
Councilman
Rules of
Neal,
Order,
Councilman Neal,
Madam President, according to
you have had
Robert's Rules
two
of Order.
opportunities to speak.
Yes, but
You have had two opportunities.
Yes,
to
I have,
speak.
but you
And so at
made a
this moment in
statement.
time,
Madam President, you made a statement about my
Councilman
behavior
Neal,
with
you are
staff.
out of order.
No, ma'am.
You
As
are
a
out
point
of order.
according
You
to
are out of
Robert,
order.
Madam
And
President.
I am
according-
running this meeting to be
Yes, you
very
are.
clear.
And according to
So
Robert's
at this
Rules of
time,
Order,
what we're going to do is we are going to take the vote.
Madam
The
President.
committee's report is favorable. The rules have been suspended. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Nay.
Amobian,
Nay.
Somerville.
Aye.
This resolution passes 10-2. Item number 5 is offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a sign at 182 South Main Street and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For an advertise for public hearing.
this item will be referred.
Item number 6, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a commercial distribution office at 1169 Triplet Boulevard and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For an advertise for public hearing.
this item will also be referred.
Item number 7, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a type A daycare home at 539 Castle Boulevard and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For an advertise for public hearing.
this item will be referred.
Item number 8, offered by Fusco. Ordinance amending the zoning map by changing the single-family residential use district classification U1H1A1 use and apartment house use district classification U2H2A3 use on property located at 2744 Manchester Road to a retail business use district classification U3H2A3 use and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For an advertise for public hearing.
this item will be referred.
Item number 9, offered by Fusco. Ordinance amending ordinance number 16/2022 for the purpose of amending the list and schedule of special assessments to be levied for the purpose of paying the costs of an energy special improvement district project at 161 South High Street, and further approving any revisions to the cooperative agreement and special assessment agreement related to that project necessitated by the amendment of the list and schedule of special assessments and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
The report of the committee is favorable and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you, President. We're asking for suspension of the rules with a favorable report. This is the Ocasek building. This council had approved the development agreement and leases and the maximum amount in terms of these PACE bonds. These PACE bonds are the environmentally friendly development bonds. So obviously with regards to the Energy Special Improvement District that was approved by this council. So this sets the exact amount and the market, we had discovered exactly what the market, give these to the market so that then they can be bonded and the project can move forward. So we're asking for passage this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Abstain.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 11-0 with 1 abstention. Item number 10, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety or his designee to accept a $10,000 grant awarded to the Akron Fire Department from the Northern Ohio Gulf Charities Foundation, and to expend the grant money plus $5,000 from Akron Fire's capital budget by entering into an agreement or agreements to purchase a new mini ambulance and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable and we're asking for suspension of the rules, please.
Are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you. This mini med unit will be used at the PGA tournament that's held every year at Firestone Country Club. In addition, the city will use this, or the Akron Fire Department will use this at other city-sponsored events where they have been asked to be on standby. And with that, we're asking for passage.
Okay, thank you. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Okay, that concludes our new legislation for this evening. We'll now go to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period. I'm just going to ask that our clerk please let us know when all participants are in the room.
Sure. We have one more in the waiting room that still says joining. So if we want to just give her a moment.
Okay, sounds good. Just let me know.
Thanks. Okay, we do have everyone in from the waiting room.
Okay, very good. So speakers, we just want to remind you on tonight that you will have 3 minutes to speak to this body. We also want to remind you this is an official meeting, so your remarks should be kept respectful and germane to council business. You know, anyone who breaches decorum will be ruled out of order and may be removed from the live. So at this time, I'm just going to ask that all those wishing to speak before this body is sworn in by a member of our law department.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry. Yeah, all right. Would you raise your right hand, please? Would you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do. I do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we're going to start off with Nicholas Cassiopo.
Hi, my name is Nick Cassiopo. I live at 41 Marshall Avenue in Ward 1. I really wanted to speak tonight on the abject failure of the city of Akron under the leadership of Dan, Margot, Jeff, and Mike to address the many crises we're facing. Dan's ridiculous and unprofessional outburst 2 weeks ago should probably have cost him his seat as Akron's mayor, yet y'all seem rather content to sit back and allow him to spew anti-democratic.
Mr. Cassiopo, again, I'm going to ask for you to not make any personal attacks, or again, you will be removed from the live. So I'm going to ask that you also to follow the rules.
The city has the highest rate of eviction in the entire state. Throughout the pandemic, your municipal court approved hundreds of illegal evictions despite the moratorium, but somehow leadership under Dan, Margot, Jeff, and Mike couldn't be bothered to open an investigation into this. Jeff and Dan received tens of thousands of dollars in campaign contributions from a longtime buddy who was slated to get a lucrative fracking bill from the city last January. If passed, it would have violated state campaign finance law. I can't think of a clearer example of pay-to-play corruption, but yet somehow this council and city leadership just
Councilman Neal,
entirely rather
Councilman,
than hold Jeff and Dan accountable.
Mr.
Here's your
Cassiopo,
investigation then.
Mr.
APD
Cassiopo,
officer Phil
I'm going
Senior
to ask it again that you do not make any personal
were
attack.
allowed to use their positions of power to trample on the First Amendment rights of activists in the city, yet you all sat on your hands and did nothing. Where was your investigation then? You all and Dan hired Chief Milet, even though he was sued for racial discrimination at his last department for firing a Black police officer who complained of racism in the force. Instead of being transparent.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on. Again, I want to state the rules. There will be no personal attacks during public comment period. We're going to move on to our next speaker, and the next speaker is going to be
Inappropriate photo.
Ryan King.
Yeah. My name's Ryan Keene, 1610 Hampton Road, Akron, Ward 10. First off, censoring like that is illegal. It's been ruled in the Supreme Court if public comments are open. That's definitely illegal. But a couple solutions for city council to consider. How about canceling Redwood's $33 million in tax abatements immediately? Redwood has more money in tax abatements than any other organization in this city, yet they are slumlords. Secondly, take a look at KC Tenant's Community Controlled Land Trust and KC Tenant's Universal Right to Counsel. Thirdly, you should immediately fire Lieutenant Simcox, Captain Swartz, and Phil Senior. Fourth, create a public website for all OPSA use of force complaints and incident reports of Akron police. We are the only major city in Ohio not on the use of force for federal and state public databases for police accountability and transparency. I'm sadly not shocked at all about the openly racist and misogynistic assault that happened in Highland Square, and either should you or any other Akronite. It's time to wake up Akron to the realities of Andrew Walz being a reflection on city leadership. Mayor Horrigan and the Akron Police Department have consistently caved to fascism, racism, and misogyny. Mayor Horrigan has promoted City Prosecutor Gert Wilms after a deliberate political weaponization from APD and the prosecutor's office due to serve the people Akron, informing the public that the Akron Police, Phil Senior, has a 3%er tattoo and is still with the department. The 3%ers and the Proud Boys are fascist white supremacist hate groups and are known to be very active within police departments. There was no wrongdoing found by APD. After battling law department for months, Lieutenant Simcox, who was a shift commander and was on overtime duty and has a history of sharing photos of victims since 2017, was investigated for sharing photos of a dead Black woman who was the victim of a crash following an Akron police chase in October. He also shared photos of a subordinate officer's sister while complaining about civilian observers and city employees' physical appearances. No wrongdoing was found. Captain Swartz was in on this. Chief Milet was sued for discrimination in Bellevue, Washington, and he sued a city in Texas claiming discrimination against white police officers, but that's your new choice of leadership. According to policescorecard.org, as of 2019, the city of Akron spent at least $70.2 million on police. In 2019, under Mayor Horrigan and President Somerville leadership, they only spent $31 million on housing and community services. Akron police score a lowly 36% on funding. They score 29% on police accountability. We also score 16% on over-policing. You need to stop censoring people because it's illegal.
Thank you so much, Mr. King. At this time, our next speaker is going to be John Sharp. Is Mr. Sharp online with us?
Madam Chair, I don't believe he joined.
Okay, so we'll move on to Mr. John Beatty. Is Mr. Beatty online with us? We're going to move on to Bridget Hodo.
Madam President.
Oh, there he is. Now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'm Reverend John Beatty, John Beaty at 2047 Wyndham Road, Akron 44313, Ward 8. Madam President and members of the Akron City Council, even though I am not a constituent of Ward 4, I wish to again affirm my support for Ward 4 Councilman Russ Neal. I also want to bring to your attention a letter to the editor of the Beacon Journal about Councilman Neal and about the city's hostile environment toward a retired city worker who repeatedly appeared before this council seeking help and support from the council for retired city workers who suddenly found their spouses cut off from affordable city health insurance. And this is the letter to the Beacon. When the city of Akron underhandedly took away affordable health insurance coverage from spouses of city employee retirees, I began attending city council meetings to voice my concerns. For roughly 2 years, I attended and spoke up on behalf of fellow city retirees who had been sucker punched by the city's sudden and unexpected action. The council president and some of the council members consistently showed disinterest, disrespect, and were condescending and rude to what I was saying and to many of the others who spoke during the public comment period. Interaction with the law department met with a similar response. However, Councilman Russ Neal was always respectful to me and anyone else I observed him dealing with when I was attending council meetings. A complaint was filed by the police union regarding the health coverage. The issue went to arbitration, and when ruling in favor of the union, the arbitrator noted that the city had acted in a less than honest manner when making changes to employee health insurance coverage. The city disputed that ruling, and eventually they reached an agreement with the union, which rendered the arbitrator's decision moot. I think the administration and the council president have decided that anyone who doesn't offer blind support to their agenda needs to be dealt with. I think the Ward 4 residents should be thrilled to have a man of such integrity representing them, and the whole city should be appalled that the city appears to be again operating in a less than honest manner to get their way. I have to agree with Neal's comment that I do not have confidence in meeting with leadership. I've seen them operate, and I share that lack of confidence. Steve Nome, now living in Cuyahoga Falls. Members of City Council, you represent us, the citizens of Akron. When we speak, we expect you to listen to us. Don't cut us off. When the city administration attacks one of you, we expect you to ensure that the city administration is being fair with that member of your august representative body. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Beatty, for your comments on this evening. Now we'll move to Bridget Hodo. Bridget, can you hear me?
Got it. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bridget Hodo, and I am a resident of Akron, Ohio. I live at 1597 Delia Avenue in the 4th Ward. I'm a retired Suffolk County Human Resources Administrator and a veteran of the United States Air Force. I wanted to speak today because I am very troubled by the conversation at the last City Council meeting surrounding complaints filed by employees for being treated unprofessionally and subjected to bullying and harassing behavior by Councilman Neal. As a retired 30-plus year human resources professional, what I find most incredible about this situation is the number of Akron City Council members and public officials who have come forward in their official capacities to weigh in on this issue without understanding the facts. How can you defend someone for such a serious allegation without full visibility to the facts? City employees should be encouraged to come forward and seek help from their employer when the code of conduct expected of our city officials and leadership teams are violated. We should all trust the process, which requires a fair and confidential investigation by the Human Resources Department. Instead, many of you are trying this case in public, trying to make this a case about race and intimidating the complaints while undermining the rights to a harassment-free work environment. I am asking you to remove your thumb from the scale and do what's right. What's incredibly disappointing is several of you are denying anything happened and are trying to silence this issue. What message are we sending? Do any of you even care about your responsibility to be an impartial body with respect to city employees while ensuring workplace policies are adhered to with appropriate accountability for those in violation? Or are you saying that council members are above the city of Akron employees' rules and violations? Or are you saying that council members are above the city of Akron employee rules and regulations? Are we giving Mr. Neal and city council members special treatment here in the city council chambers to mistreat employees and workers without accountability? I don't think that's the case. There are a vast number of cases within the city and county workplace where officials were accused of similar unprofessional behavior as Mr. Neal that put our city in legal jeopardy. Now that a proper investigation has been conducted, the city of Akron and this council must help create the type of work culture we need to ensure everyone feels respected, valued, and included. We could start with professional training and accountability and stop deflecting from the core issues currently at hand. As a community, we should feel appreciative that the mayor of the city of Akron and the city of Akron's HR office, led by a highly qualified legal and HR executive, took the appropriate steps to conduct an impartial investigation. Let's remove the politics from the situation, trust the process, and identify opportunities to provide a fair and professional environment for our city Akron employees. This should be a teaching moment and a time to hold each other accountable and to demonstrate leadership in the city of Akron. Let's do what is ethical and moral.
Hold on. Thank you so much. Your time is up, but thank you so much for participating this evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Coker.
Good evening. I'm Ali Coker. I live at 774 Fuller Street, Akron, Ohio, Ward 5. And I just wanted to talk about marijuana legalization. From a report in December of 2021, the state of Illinois collected around $387 million in tax revenue from their marijuana sales. And I believe that Ohio could definitely benefit from this type of tax revenue, especially with the housing crisis going on in our area. And we also should be looking at adding social equity clauses that truly reinvest in the communities harmed by the war on drugs. And also, I would like to kind of put a question in the air, or bring some thought to this question. How possible is it to legalize on a local level? And that is all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Coker. And we'll see how we can get an answer to your question that you posed this evening. Okay. So thank you again. D. McCall.
Hello. First and foremost, we are seeking accountability and looking to create accountability structures and systems because the housing in Akron right now just ain't right. We seek landlord accountability for breaching agreements with tenants in HUD and also the city ordinance. And we are beyond a fine at this point. The public housing shift to housing choice vouchers and more recent, the rental assistance demonstration conversion program has made housing assistance increasingly privatized, giving landlords increased powers within the low-income tenant market. This is especially an issue where tenants' protections are weak. We would like to work with the city council to improve the process of debarment, suspensions, and denial of participation for landlords and property managers who breach housing assistance payment contracts and also fair housing laws on top of city ordinances. We would like the housing assistant payment contracts that should not solely be tied to specific units, but also the landlord's history of complying with the agreements with tenants, city council, HUD, and all the public housing authorities, including the fair housing complaints. They are failing to be resolved. We want to work with the city and city council, county council, and HUD to improve the housing quality standards that impact tenants' well-being. And it must keep pace with the changing climate concerns. We've been having a lot of mothers who don't have heat and it gets cold in the winter. And then we also want to create a better reporting system for the maintenance complaints that's going beyond the property inspectors. And then also to explore the options of creating more opportunities for community and nonprofit ownerships of properties in bad dispairs locally. We trying to eliminate a lot of that out of town stuff because those are the main people who are truly not honoring our citizens. Housing as a whole is an issue. And when we create affordable housing, we want to be able to create affordable housing like in the empty parcels, maybe even in the inner belt, where there were many communities that was destroyed from Black and brown folks. Let's think outside of the box and transition that abandoned hotel that's downtown into affordable housing efforts. Let's together create affordable housing in these empty churches, which would really be a part of the Lord's work if you really ask me. And also let's just be intentional about setting money aside for affordable housing that is truly community-based and really make it based off the area mean income of the zip code. We want to make sure that the money is truly getting to the people because that is where it's not. And we just want to protect our people because housing is an issue. It truly is a human right. However, it's not seeming as though our citizens within Akron are allotted that human right. So help us get better housing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee. Is Heather Wicks online with us? Heather Wicks. Okay, we're going to move on.
I am here.
Oh, Heather, thank you. There you are.
Yeah. So my name is Heather Wicks, Reverend Heather Wicks, and I live at 590 Morley Avenue in Ward 4. I've lived in Ward 4 for 37 years. So all of the tenure of our council person, Russell Neal. And I'm here this evening to speak on his behalf. Long before Russell was our council person, he was our directly across the street neighbor. He and Yolanda moved into the house across the street from us at 475 Morley Avenue. That's where we lived. And were our lovely, gracious neighbor for all the years that we lived there. And then we downsized and moved down the street toward Copley Road to a smaller house. But we're thrilled when our neighborhood elected Russell as our council person. We have always known Russ to be a gracious and delightful person who is a deep carer, someone who cares about the world and how it works. And we have appreciated Russell's work in our neighborhood. We had a flood a few years ago, and he was right here to see how we were doing. I've talked with Russell about things in the neighborhood, like a truck that was parked up the street that we needed, this needed to be gone. And Russ understood our concern. We were talking about the fact that we don't have enough trees in our neighborhood. And this is a big problem in especially in urban areas in the summertime, because trees help to keep a neighborhood cool. So that's a concern that I have talked with our good council person for. So I don't understand what the problem is. I can't imagine one, but I just want to let the council and the council president know that Russell has been a good friend and an excellent council person for all the years that he has been our representative on the
Your
city
time
council.
limit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Wicks, for your comments on this evening. Beth Ann Scruggs.
Hi, Beth Ann Scruggs, 865 Store Avenue, Ward 3. Today, while listening to a committee meeting, it was mentioned about the Black elected officials that sent a letter asking for an impartial, fair, and unbiased process. If this is what the request the Summit County Black elected officials are to the city council, I did not see any signatures on that letter. This reminds me of throwing a rock and hiding your hand. Maybe a better way to address this is for you to write your own individual letter of your support. Or who knows, if there is no signatures, how do we know who is in support of this? By having no signatures on a letter. I would like those that are in support of this request to stand up. It's time for all of us to stand up, stand out, and be counted. But who is in agreement with this? I just don't see how you send a letter and you don't have any signatures on it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Scruggs. That concludes our public comment period for this evening. We're now going to move into our committee assignments. Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
1.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian.
230.
Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal.
145.
Public Utilities and Green Committee, Councilman Freeman.
45.
Rules Committee, Councilman Freeman.
Yeah.
Public Service, I'm not so sure who the co-chair is on that. Councilman
2 p.m.
Kamer. Thank you so much. Public Safety, Councilman Kamer.
2:15.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
3 p.m.
Housing and Neighborhood Assistance, Councilman Fusco.
Subject to call.
Okay. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? Councilman Neal.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, just wanted to ask again, as I stated, in regards to the vote that took place today, I want residents to understand, especially those who understand human resources, that due process goes both ways. I've received no information. There's been no communication to council. So what I'm asking is that we honor I'm asking for independent investigation. And here's why I'm asking for an independent investigation. Because I have questions pending with our human resource department about unfair hiring and promotion practices. The same human resource department that did the investigation. I have not received any, and I've got all the emails that I would love to share with council. Okay. So I don't believe that council can do that the human resource department can do a fair investigation. Plus, that's not their responsibility. Council investigates council. And I've already stressed my concern with leadership leading in that way. So if I do believe that we owe it to the citizens, we owe it to those who quote unquote feel that they've been threatened through a Zoom environment, and it's owed to me that we have a fair investigation and that we come to understand what took place. I'm asking that of my colleagues. I believe that, as has been stated, those who feel that they have had an unfair work environment are owed that. I believe I am owed that, since I have received nothing in writing before or after.
Thank you, Councilman Neal. Councilwoman Amobian.
Thank you, Madam President. What I'm concerned about at this point is, who do we go to if we have questions about small businesses that are doing work for us through this, these different programs? And I think they're part of the ARPA. Who do we go to find out when these folks are going to be paid? And is it helpful? Would it be helpful? I know it'd be helpful to me for us to get some kind of report as to how much we've spent and how the money has been, is flowing, if it's flowing at all, and how they're progressing with the metric system. Is that something that I should direct to anyone in particular, or do we have, I know Tamika Rose is doing some of this work, but I'm not really sure what her official title is.
So Councilwoman Mobian, we can get an answer for your question, okay? And get you a contact person that way in case you have some follow-up.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else coming before council at this time?
Motion to adjourn.
Briscoe, we have a motion to adjourn. If there are no objections, this meeting is adjourned.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot